Kenya's Gold, we will be focusing on flower farming in Kenya. And just to add a little bit of drama and pizzazz to the debut episode, I decided to show up in studio looking like the petals of a flower. Thank you very much for joining us from wherever it is that you are watching us from. My name is Violeta Ngina. Now, over the years, as delicate as flowers are, their role cannot be underestimated. Now, for very many years, flowers have been used to cement romantic relationships. Yani ile wakati unataka kufanya mpoa wako asikie vizuri, unambaya tu maua. Flowers as well have been used to convert dull spaces into absolutely magical spaces. And you can see the studio right now looking like a flower heaven. Also, over the years, flowers have provided tons of job opportunities to millions of people across the world. And also, they have earned the country billions when it comes to revenue in foreign exchange. Let us not talk about the pressure that men get when it comes to flowers on the 14th of February. So as we embark on this journey, we will talk to every key player in the flower value chain to understand a lot more when it comes to flower farming in Kenya. Once again, thank you so much for joining us this Monday, and Kenya's Gold starts right now. Again, like I said at the very beginning, the set looks absolutely lovely, courtesy of various flower growers who have made this set look as good as it does. And before we even get to other details, let us appreciate every single one who made this set look this good. We'll start with PN Florist. We also have Redlands Roses PLC, Credible Blooms, Black Tulips Group, and also Kenya Flower Council Growers. Thank you very much for being very generous with your flowers right here at Kenya's Gold. Now, we have talked about just how important flowers are when it comes to making people happy and also providing revenue in the country. And right now, we do want to have a very quick look at the monetary value that we have been getting from flowers over the years. Now, remember, when we are talking about the horticultural sector, which is the main focus of our show on Monday, the amount of money that we have been getting from the export in 2022 and 2023. In 2022 was at 147.8 billion, and it increased to 156.69 billion in 2023. Now, moving on, let us look at how much of that was contributed to by flowers. In 2022, the flower export was at 103.8 billion, and in 2023 the flower export was at 73.5 billion. There was a decrease between 2022 and 2023, but that's the amount of money that the country earned from flower exports in Kenya. If we move to vegetable exports, in 2022 it was at 23.59 billion, and in 2023 our vegetable export value was at 50.86 billion. And finally, fruit exports value in 2022 was at 19.63 billion, and in 2023 fruit export was at 32.37 billion. That was also an increase. Now, finally, let us have a look at the major flower growing regions in Kenya, and we'll start with Lake Naivasha, Mount Kenya region, Nairobi, Thika, Kiambu, Athi River, Kitale, Nakuru, Kericho, Nyandarua, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, and Eastern Kenya. Now, those are some of the major flower growing regions in Kenya, and you've also had an understanding of just how much, when it comes to billions, the country has been earning from flowers. Now, on the set today, I'm not going to be alone. We're going to have some florists who will be talking to us a lot more when it comes to flower farming in Kenya. And I do want to invite them on the set right about now so that they can talk to us a lot more when it comes to flower farming. And the best part of it all is it's a family business. So here we are looking at a mother and her daughters. So they will be walking on the set. Karibu. All right, they're coming in a short while. But as they do that, let us quickly try guess the names of the flowers that we do have here. And when they get here, they'll be correcting me on how right or how wrong I am. So I'll start with this one. It looks to me like sunflower, though a yellow sunflower. And then, of course, here we have lilies. We have roses. Okay, this is one of our florists. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you,
Thank you for this set.
You're most welcome.
You look as good as the flowers.
Thank you.
This is what happens when you're working in the flower business, right?
Oh, yes.
And the mother, who's also part of the business, will be walking in shortly. So as we wait for the mom, I want you to help me. I said these are orange sunflowers. How right or how wrong am I?
You are very wrong. This is what we call jaberas.
Jaberas.
Yes.
Okay, good. So we learned something. So these are jaberas. What do we have here?
We have an assortment of flowers. This is what we call the lilies.
Right.
We have some roses. The red one is what we call hypericum berries.
Hypericum berries.
Yes.
So after a while they'll bloom.
No.
Oh,
they don't. That's the beauty of the hypericum berry.
Right.
Yes.
And then here, what do you have here?
This is what we call the gypsophila or baby's breath.
Gypsophila or baby's breath.
Yes.
Yes,
yes, as a filler.
Right, and the mother is here. Look at her, looking as beautiful as the daughters. Hi.
How are you?
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
You look so good.
Thank you.
I want to work in the flower business if this is how people
It makes you feel young and
look at you.
Yes.
Kuna stress?
Kuna stress ukiwa kwa
Every
maua.
morning you wake up.
Imagine in this beauty every day, every morning till evening. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we want to get into the details of being florist and
All right.
also how you work with farmers, flower farmers in the country. But before we get there, this is your mom.
Yes, she is.
So how do we separate? Unajua saa zile maybe hukufanya mahesabu yako vizuri kwa your flower shop, and then you go home and you have to be a daughter. How to separate the business daughter and now the baby, baby? How is that? How is the dynamics of the relationship?
Well, as a mom, she's very loving and everything. And when it comes to the boss, she is the boss. I have to give the right records of the people supplied what they were supposed to do. So we do differentiate the two between the mother and the daughter. So yeah, she's a wonderful boss as well.
So the face she's wearing now in ile a nice, wonderful mom. Naomba sura ya kazi kidogo. Let's see the face. Come on now. There you go. Now we'll start by allowing you to introduce yourselves to our lovely viewers. They know that now this is a mother and daughter duo. I hope my mom is watching. See what's other, you know. So we'll start with you.
My name is Paris Jerry. I have a company by the name PN Florist. I work with my daughters. She's my firstborn. She's a mother. I'm a grandmother.
Right.
Yeah, we work together in our shop. We have a shop at City Market, situated at City Market, inside the City Market. I have one shop at Koinange Street where I started, and I thank God that's where I started at the street. Then God blessed me with another bigger shop inside the City Market. As you enter from Widibigu Street, it's the first shop, PN Florist.
So you started small, and then now there's another shop. What I've gathered so far is kuna pesa kwa flower business.
I cannot complain because I've been able to educate my girls
through flower business.
Yes.
You started at how many years?
I was 17 years old by 10 years. I finished Form 4 when I was 17 years.
Right.
And immediately after Form 4, I was taken to a flower shop to be trained as a florist.
That must have been very many years ago.
Many years.
At the time, wanaume bado walikuwa romantic wa maua. We'll get to that very shortly. But yeah, the daughter now, take the stage. Tell us a little bit about yourself and also when you decided to start working with mom in the flower business.
My name is Morin Wamboy. A mother to one daughter, Leilani. Hi, baby. I started doing flowers when mom was working. Just like as she has said, she started way long ago when we were in school. When you go to weddings, you have to be on board with her. So as much as I finished campus, I went, did what I wanted to do myself. Then later on, I joined her business because at the end of the day, it's a family business. Someone has to get to learn how to run it.
Right.
So, yeah.
It has been amazing so far.
Yes, it has been 12 years now working with her.
So, Mom, when the daughters are getting married, we'll charge. Is there a discount or it's free?
There'll be a discount, but I have to pay some.
Okay, right. Now, let us get into it. And first of all, we want to learn the different flowers that are grown in Kenya and also the demand. If I walk out of the streets right now and I ask someone, tell me a flower you know or a flower you love, I'll tell you 8 out of 10 people will tell me roses.
Yes.
Right? And it kind of feels like every time someone wants to talk about a flower, it's going to be roses, roses, roses. True. But there's a lot more than roses in this studio. Please take us through the different types of flowers and also what the demand is like for the different flowers.
We have so many varieties of flowers. Before, people used just to know roses, but now they have come to learn there are so many other flowers. We have, and we also have different type of roses and quality. We have spray roses, we have standard roses, we have small heads roses, we have big heads roses. And there are so many types of roses, but still we have so many other type of flowers. Like we have lilies. You can see the lilies. This is a lily when it's tight. And from that picture, you can see when it is opening.
When it has already bloomed.
Yeah, a bit. It's not fully bloomed.
All right.
It still bloom more. Okay. Then it has a very beautiful scent when it blooms out.
So if I buy lilies, let's say I'm buying them for my house, after how long are they supposed to bloom? How long do they take?
At least they change every day. Every day, if you can see it changes. Today it's like it opens a bit wider. But it can still last for about 2 weeks.
Right.
About 2 weeks, it has opened so much, and the scent is, as you enter from very far from the house, as you're entering the house, you can feel the scent.
Right.
A very nice one.
Great.
Though it's not very nice when it is very strong. When you have a small room, you just put a few stems. But when you have a bigger room like this one, you can put as many as you want.
Right.
Yes.
So we have the lilies, and then we have the different, I didn't even know there are different types of roses.
There are different type of roses.
Right. And what is commonly grown in Kenya? Nikienda kwa wakulima wengi wa maua, what is that flower variety yenye nitapata karibu wote wako nayo? What is very commonly grown here?
We can talk of the roses.
Right.
With different colors, because we have so many shades of the roses. We have yellow. Some people tend to think red rose is the only rose that we have. So when someone is asking for a rose flower, if you don't give them red, then that is not a rose flower.
Right.
Yet we have so many varieties.
We have this.
Yes.
This is not red.
That is not red.
But it's a rose.
It is a rose.
Right.
Yes. For the roses, we have pink, purple, yellow, orange. So many colors when it comes to the roses.
All right.
Many variety that people need to explore and get to test them out once in a while.
But the most commonly grown variety in Kenya is the roses.
The roses.
That's the one yenye nitapata wakulima wengi.
Yes.
Wako nazo.
Right.
Yes.
Now, you have been in the business for very many years.
Yes.
I mean, you started when you were
Over
17.
35 years, yes.
Over 35 years.
Yes.
That's 3 decades and a half.
Yes.
I'm very sure the trend of flowers has been changing. If you can give us a comparison of how it used to be back in the day and what are some of the changes that you have experienced up until now, what can you say when you compare those 2 generations?
The generations are very different. Before, people didn't really appreciate the flowers. Even for the weddings, they just used to buy the flowers for the bridal party, for the maids, and very simple flowers. But today, if you go for a wedding in Kenya, you'll find there are so many flowers in the wedding. There is also Valentine. People didn't used to appreciate Valentine before. Right. But now everyone is appreciating Valentine flowers. Mother's Day, people are appreciating their mothers with flowers. You find even men are buying for their wives, even for their mothers of their children.
Were they doing that 35 years ago?
No, before they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't used to do that.
Nowadays we have Girlfriend's Day.
Girlfriend's Day.
Ooh, when was it again? It was recently.
1st
of August.
Yes.
Were people buying flowers on that day?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And this it was a boom.
It caught us unaware because we didn't know that people will buy flowers. You know,
this year the demand was higher.
We didn't have anything in the bucket. People really bought flowers.
Right.
And we were not really prepared.
Right.
Yes.
So what I'm learning from you is the demand for flowers has grown over the years.
It keeps on growing every year.
People are appreciating flowers more.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me if the supply we are giving you as flower farmers is enough compared to the demand that is there, and also the demand that will keep growing. Remember, the population is growing. You know, if this is the trajectory, then it could get even more. Are we producing enough flowers to satisfy that?
Right now with the market, the way it is, the demand is very high for flowers. I would say the supply is quite low. So, because when it comes to, especially the season where we have weddings, it's a struggle getting enough flowers. So, and that's why you tend to see when it comes to the events, you have to tell your client, are you ready to work around, not just roses only? We have so many variety of flowers because whatever supply we might get may not be there during that season. And we have so many other flowers to work with.
So that's the option.
Yes.
Zile unaona flowers yenye unataka haitakuwa because the supply is not as good. You start giving them another. Are they usually receptive? Because like I said, a lot of people think roses, roses, roses. So when you're giving them another option, they can be a bit stiff. What do they act like? How is their reaction?
Well, for someone, as much as there's that particular theme that they wanted to achieve, you have to be open-minded. Because when it comes to flowers, it's not something that we have control over. This is subject to the weather, it's subject to the season, it's subject to so many other things. As much as they're grown in greenhouses where it's controlled, also the supply. You tend to see Kenya, we export a lot of flowers. So if the demand is high on the other side, meaning the supply in Kenya will also be low.
Right.
So, but most of them are usually open-minded. They are ready and willing to work with other options of flowers.
When is the busiest season? Is
of
there
course,
a time?
Valentine's times. It's very busy.
That's February.
Yeah, and especially on holidays, there are so many weddings. Yes.
So like
there are
now
so many weddings. When the children have closed schools, there are so many weddings. There are so many other things like Odoni and those other things. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that we also understand Kenya, we export a lot of flowers. I think we are one of the highest exporters of rose flowers to the European Union. How does that disadvantage the florists who are here? Because I know sometimes our farmers might want to take their flowers to the international market, of course, because of better prices, I believe. True. And here you are trying to, you know, do this thing. You need the flowers. How do we come in that space to make sure that even our flower farmers are willing to work with the florists that we do have here as part of the options that they give priority to, as opposed to just entirely exporting all the flowers?
Okay, there are some flower farms who have local, but for the local people, they get us flowers for the lower grade they give to the local farmers. And still we have local farmers who are growing other flowers, although it's not the best quality. But they are trying to grow flowers like the chrysanthemums. We have these chrysanthemums. They are grown locally by the local farmers.
Which one is that?
What I mean by the local farmers, it's like those old women and men from Ushags. They are trying to grow these things like the chrysanthemums.
This is the what you call the...
And they're coming out very nicely.
Chrysanthi.
Yeah, because when you buy them for export, they are quite expensive.
Right.
Yeah, even carnations, there are carnations we call local carnations. These are export carnations. They are local carnations. We also have spray carnations. So we are trying to use those other type of flowers. We also have like these are jaberas.
Yeah, the orange ones. Yeah. I called them yellow orange sunflowers.
No, these are not. Okay, they look like a sunflower,
yeah,
but it's not a sunflower.
So it's called jabera.
They are jaberas, and you get them in different colors. You get them in pink, in red, in orange, in yellow, and these are carnations. Carnations are also they used to be very common before, but these days they are not as common as they used to be.
Right.
Yeah, because you used to use them so much for the offices. You know, when we used to take flowers to the offices, to the government, we used to take flowers every Monday, every week. But when the orders were cancelled because the budget, now the carnations are not very marketable because they really last for a long time. They are not like roses.
All right.
Roses don't last like the carnations.
When you say lasting, please help me understand, how long can roses last?
Okay, depending on the quality, roses last between 1 day and 8 days. But carnations can last between 1 day to about 15 days.
Great. So something else I have picked up in the conversation is the fact that we have grades.
Yes,
flowers.
Different grades.
So flowers, see flowers. So kuna grade. I believe there's a grade 1. It goes until what grade? From grade 1 to?
Okay, we have small heads, we have big heads. And you have which other type?
And also the length.
Export and the length.
Yeah. All right, I want to understand a lot more about the grades, but that conversation will be happening when we come back from this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.